Well, hello, 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 and welcome to Starry Tarot. I hope you are doing wonderfully today. Hi, E. Hope you're doing great. Hope you're healing well. So, my name is Sophie. I am your friendly tarot reader for this evening. I can answer any and all of your questions with the exception of medical and or legal questions. Thank you so much, Sandra. I just received your donation. Please go ahead and post your question right there in the chat. Thank you. And if you are watching this live stream, please be a friend and remember to click that like button. It really helps me out. Thank you. Blooming Soul 3643, please go ahead and post your question. Thank you. Okay, my question is about Francisco. What was he in my life? Are we meant to be? Okay, that's kind of two questions. I can ask if, what, excuse me. I can ask, I don't really understand what you mean. I think I do. When you're asking if Francisco, when you're asking what he was in your life, like, I don't really know what the answer to that would be, like, what example you would have there. The other question, I could definitely ask that, where if you were meant to be together. I just don't really know what the answer would be for that, the first question. So, and what is your sign, Sandra, and what is Francisco's sign? Okay. Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides, were Sandra and Francisco meant to be together? Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides, were Sandra and Francisco meant to be together? Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides, are Sandra and Francisco meant to be together? Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides, are Sandra and Francisco meant to be together? Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides, are Sandra and Francisco meant to be together? Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides, are Sandra and Francisco meant to be together? Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides, are Sandra and Francisco meant to be together? Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides, are Sandra and Francisco meant to be together? Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides, are Sandra and Francisco meant to be together? Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides, are Sandra and Francisco meant to be together? You're a Leo and he's a Gemini? Okay. And I'm using my Blythe Doll tarot cards today. They are so cute. There's no, the box for them is just this blank white box, but they are adorable cards, as you will see. Okay, Sandra, we have 5 of Pentacles, 7 of Cups, the Hangman reversed, 8 of Wands reversed, and 9 of Wands. The answer is no, Sandra. You're more than welcome to provide me with any context you want to provide, like what, were you guys boyfriend and girlfriend, or were you just dating without a label? Were you not dating? How long have you known one another? Spirit is saying that a stalemate has been met here, there's stagnation in this connection, and it's not going to move forward. With the Hangman reversed and this Eight of Wands reversed, what I'm seeing is whatever you're currently getting from him emotionally, time-wise, energetically, whatever he's providing for you, I feel like that's kind of as good as it's going to get. And I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Just dating for a week, but it was very deep, and I cut it off. Okay. Yeah, Spirit is, and there is something here about being guarded, but Spirit's also not saying that you made the wrong decision here. They would tell me, they would definitely say, if you guys were meant to be together, they say, hold up, stop, give this another shot. But your intuition served you right. They're saying that, things, I hear you that things got deep really fast, but that can also, that can be a negative, I don't want to say a negative sign, but it can be dangerous. It can be potentially dangerous, in the sense that he could potentially be love bombing you. Relationships take time to foster. Relationships take time to become deep. And I'm not negating it. I'm not saying that there wasn't any depth to this, but there was depth in as much as there can be with 1 week of knowing someone, and it's very truly difficult to get that deep that fast. And it might have been, correct me if I'm wrong, but you might have felt like this might have been a bit of a red flag. And Spirit is saying that they understand why you liked him. They can see with the Seven of Cups, but the Seven of Cups is also like castles in the sky, and being careful for what we wish for. Like there's a lot more to him than meets the eye. That's the thing about dating people is you're not going to know somebody completely in just 1 week, as I'm sure you know. And there's a lot to him that I don't think you would have been okay with or would have wanted to move forward with if you had found out just attributes about his personality that were not revealed or discovered. But I'm getting the green light here in terms of cutting things off with the Five of Pentacles. Definitely seeing from Spirit that this was the right move to make. You weren't being too, like, if this was reversed, I'd say, okay, might be a little too guarded, but the energy I'm getting is like your guard is rightfully up. You felt something intuitively just wasn't kind of right, and you were right. So yeah, that is what I'm seeing for you, love. Thank you very much, Sandra. I appreciate you, and wish you all the best moving forward, no matter which direction you decide to go. Yeah, thank you very much. Hi, Mahogany. There's currently nobody on the list. We just did a reading, and if you made a donation, you would be next. All right, thank you, Mahogany. Thank you so much, Mahogany, for your donation. Let me go ahead and add you here. Okay. All right, Mahogany. Would Reese's reaction be positive if I reached out? Okay, and Mahogany, you're a Leo, right? And what is Reese's sign? Angels, Messengers, and Spirit Guides, would Reese's reaction be positive if Mahogany reached out? Angels, Messengers, and Spirit Guides, would Reese's reaction be positive if Mahogany reached out? Angels, Messengers, and Spirit Guides, would Reese's reaction be positive if Mahogany reached out? Angels, Messengers, and Spirit Guides, would Reese's reaction be positive if Mahogany reached out? Angels, Messengers, and Spirit Guides, would Reese's reaction be positive if Mahogany reached out? Angels, Messengers, and Spirit Guides, would Reese's reaction be positive if Mahogany reached out? Angels, Messengers, and Spirit Guides, would Reese's reaction be positive if Mahogany reached out? Angels, Messengers, and Spirit Guides, would Reese's reaction be positive if Mahogany reached out? Angels, Messengers, and Spirit Guides, would Reese's reaction be positive if Mahogany reached out? Angels, Messengers, and Spirit Guides, would Reese's reaction be positive if Mahogany reached out? Taurus, okay. And is Reese a male or female? We have the Fool, Ace of Swords, Ten of Swords, Three of Cups, and Judgment. They would definitely, it's a male, okay. He would definitely respond back to you. I think that he would be pleased to hear from you. I don't know what your guys' history is. I do feel like it's something that there's something that does need to be discussed. With this Ten of Swords and Judgment, there's something that needs to be discussed. The air needs to be cleared, though, before pleasantries can really be exchanged. But I feel like he has definitely moved forward and if I don't know, who did what or if someone hurt someone's feelings or what, but I feel like he's not. It's not like he's. I want to say he's moved on from you. That's not what I'm getting here. What I'm getting is I feel like he's ready to turn a new leaf with you with this Ace of Swords. He does want to communicate. He does want to clear the air. He does want to cut through, the BS and get to the truth of the matter of things. If he feels like he needs to apologize to you, he'll be doing that. If he feels like he needs to defend himself or something, I don't know what it is, but it's something about turning a new leaf, clean slate here, wanting to move forward, but also needing some closure with something in the past between the two of you. And it might not even be something like really heavy. It could be a feeling he had or a feeling you had. But there is, with this, both the Ten of Swords and the Ace of Swords, there is something about clearing the air, moving past the past, and with this Ten of Swords, closing that chapter, that Ten of Swords, and reopening a new one with this Ace, starting at the beginning, like end of 10, going back to 1, to the beginning, a fresh start. I feel like it might be a little heavy at first, the conversation, the exchange, because I do feel like he's going to communicate with you. I do feel like he will respond, and I think he's happy to and wants to. But there is something like heavy here, needing to be discussed before being able to just move forward and start things fresh. So my answer is yes. I think that sounds very positive. I don't know the whole situation, but it absolutely looks and sounds as though he is wanting to begin a new chapter with you. start fresh, clear the air of the past. So yeah, looks good, mahogany. I say go forth. I don't think there will be a negative reaction here. Thank you very much, girl. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right. So we are all caught up with donations, which means that the donation queue is currently open. I can answer any of your questions this evening with the exception of medical and or legal questions. Please consult a professional in either of those fields or both if that is the guidance that you are seeking. But I am also a psychic medium. I can communicate with those who have passed on. If that is if a mediumship reading is something that you are interested in, please let me know before sending your donation in. Please let me know what the person's name is, their date of birth, their date of passing, and if you can, it'd be great if you could email me a photo, but it's not required, but it really helps me in figuring out if I can indeed get in touch with them. 95% of the time I can, but sometimes I can't for whatever reason, and I just don't want to disappoint. But my mediumship skills are very much on point. I also offer soulmate confirmation readings. Those are very self-explanatory. I ask your spirit guides, your angels, your messengers, if a particular person in your life is indeed a soulmate. And we have many soulmates in our lives, and they come in many different forms. They absolutely can be romantic partners, but they could also be friends of ours, family members, pets. They come in many different forms and offer us with many different things, have different things to offer in our lives, depending on what capacity they are supposed to be in your life or whether they are or not. If the answer is no, they'll say why not. If the answer is yes, they'll say why. Alternatively, we can also we can posit the question as if whether or not they give their blessing towards this person who you're curious about in your life. It is very hard to get Spirit's blessing. It doesn't happen super commonly, but it does happen. And when it does happen, it is definitely a gift and not to be taken lightly. So, depending on how important your ancestral guides and spirits' opinion is, our spirit's blessing. You've never heard that? Oh yeah, no. Just like the people in our lives give their blessing. We bring someone home to mom and dad. A new person who we're dating or a new friend. We're really looking for that blessing, right? We're looking for approval. And our spirit guides, the majority of our spirit guides are oftentimes our ancestral spirits. Yeah, it is a great question. It is. And actually, I did a reading earlier. The first reading I did, the question was, are we meant to be together? Which isn't quite the same question. But if someone's not meant to be with you, they're not a soulmate. The soulmate reading, did the information come up? Yeah, the soulmate reading is $16.16. Unless you use SuperChat, then it's $23.23. But I don't think you use SuperChat. But yeah, it's like getting our relatives or close friends approval and blessing on someone in our life. It's very, very similar. Because yeah, the majority, I have, from my professional observations, the majority of the soldiers in our soul tribe are often ancestral spirits, great aunts, deceased. I don't know why great aunt came to me. I'm sure my great aunt watches over me. But deceased loved ones oftentimes, and even some deceased loved ones who we never even met. Okay, I mean, I can donate for it. Can I have it on Reese, or is it general? I can ask about Reese. Absolutely, I can ask if Reese is your soulmate. Yeah, yeah. And again, if the answer is yes, they'll say why, in what capacity he is a soulmate. If the answer is no, they'll explain why not. And whatever potential difficulties might arise in if he isn't a soulmate of yours. It's okay to keep people in our lives who aren't soulmates. There's many close people in our lives who, are good to keep in our lives that aren't necessarily soulmates. And thank you so much, Mahogany, for your donation, love. I just received it. So you would like to know if Reese is your soulmate. And how long have you guys known one another again? I mean, he could a level of a soulmate. If he's any type of level of soulmate, they'll tell you. If he's a soulmate and just supposed to be a friend, they'll tell you. If he's a soulmate but he's supposed to be more than a friend, they'll tell you. But since August of this year, but we have not really gotten close. But I feel strongly for him. Okay. Do you want me to ask if he's your soulmate? Or if he is a soulmate of yours, because we have many soulmates in this life. Do you want me to ask if he's a soulmate of yours, or do you want me to ask if your guides give their blessing towards him being in your life? Hi, Alina. Welcome, 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 girl. And thank you. Yeah, if you make a donation, you will be after Mahogany. Let's do the blessing. I think that'll cover all aspects. All right. Sounds good. Angels, masters, and spirit guides. Do Mahogany's spirit guides give their blessing to Reese in her life? Angels, masters, and spirit guides. Do Mahogany's spirit guides provide their blessing towards Reese being in her life? Angels, masters, and spirit guides. Do Mahogany's spirit guides offer their blessing towards Reese being in her life? Angels, masters, and spirit guides. Do Mahogany's guides offer their blessing towards Reese being in her life? Angels, masters, and spirit guides. Do Mahogany's guides give their blessing towards Reese being in her life? Angels, masters, and spirit guides. Do Mahogany's guides give their blessing towards Reese being in her life? Angels, masters, and spirit guides. Do Mahogany's guides give their blessing towards Reese being in her life? Angels, masters, and spirit guides. Do Mahogany's guides give their blessing towards Reese being in her life? Angels, masters, and spirit guides. Do Mahogany's guides give their blessing regarding Reese being in her life? Angels, masters, and spirit guides. Do Mahogany's guides offer their blessing towards Reese in her life? Angels, masters, and spirit guides. Do Mahogany's guides give their blessing towards Reese in her life? Angels, masters, and spirit guides. Do Mahogany's guides offer their blessing towards Reese in her life? Angels, masters, and spirit guides. Do Mahogany's guides offer their blessing towards Reese in their life, in her life? Angels, masters, and spirit guides. Do Mahogany's guides offer their blessing towards Reese in her life? Angels, masters, and spirit guides. Do Mahogany's guides offer their blessing towards Reese in her life? You'd like to connect with a loved one. All right. So the mediumship donation is, I'll post it right here, but if you can please wait, Alina, because I need to check to make sure I can get in touch with the person you want to get in touch with. You could please provide me with their name, their date of birth, and their date of passing. That would be wonderful. And if you could email me a picture while I'm reading for mahogany, that would be even better, but it's not required. It just really helps me figure out if I can indeed get in touch with them. Thank you very much. Okay, mahogany. We have Justice reversed, Ace of Pentacles reversed, King of Pentacles, Queen of Swords reversed, Three of Pentacles, the Tower reversed, Chariot reversed, Nine of Wands, Ace of Cups reversed, and Queen of Cups reversed. That's a big no. That's a big no from your guides. They don't offer their blessing. I know you really like him. I understand. But the message I'm getting from them is it's actually very similar to the first reading that I did earlier. They're saying that there's a lot that you don't know about him. And I'm not saying that you didn't get to know him well enough or anything like that, but it was, I don't know how long you guys got to know one another. I know it was back in August, but it takes time to really get to know someone and really develop a real level of depth with another person and really know who they are truly. Because when we first get to know someone, we're putting on our best face. There's always things that people, often with good intentions, will try and conceal because nobody's perfect. But these are things that your spirit guides are saying would be absolute deal breakers for you and absolutely are for them. Well, they're right. I have not had a chance to actually get to know him. Okay, so is it more just a physical attraction to him? Because they're saying that he's a rapscallion. He's not a good man. He's not a bad man, but he's not fair. He doesn't treat women with fairness. We've got both Justice reversed and the Queen of Swords reversed. That's someone who is not a fair person. And he's prone to chaos. He's prone to tantrums when he doesn't get his way. I really feel that lack of exposure, lack of adequate exposure to him has perhaps create with that Seven of Cups in the last reading. It's perhaps created an idealized version in your minds. Possibly even subconsciously, you've created a more idealized version of who he is, filling in the gaps, possibly where there were gaps on your own. Hi, Alina. Yes, that's what the past life reading is. I can ask about a past life. We can ask to illustrate we have many past lives, and you can ask, illustrate a past life that will show me this, that, or the other. Thank you. Well, I have not chance to actually know. Damn, I mean, I do think that he could be not so good. I have my moments of that. Yeah, they're definitely saying he's no. I don't want to say he's no good, but he's often up to no good and does not treat women with fairness, with kindness. He's not a very loving person. He's very it's like that phrase, hurt people hurt people. He's definitely not a healed man. I feel like he has some hang-ups towards women, and he's bitter too. He's got hang-ups about women based on his past. He's bitter about his past and he can't move forward. It's not that he's hung up on anyone from his past. He could be, but it's not so much that. It's that he's just hung up on, like, he's the type of guy who says, like, oh, like, yeah, women, like, they always do this or they always do that or they always treat me this way, and he thinks he's got it all sussed out, but he really doesn't. He's just really, is he abusive or drugs? I'm not getting drugs here. I know that I have drug cards. To me, someone who's a drug abuser, the devil, or especially the devil reversed, will show up. If he's an alcoholic, cups will show up reversed. He could drink to ease the pain here. We do have quite a few Ace of Cups reverse, lack of self-love, lack of self-care. It could be, I don't know if you ever got the vibe that he was a drug user or an alcoholic. Same thing, in my opinion. Both drugs. Just drink one. And there's drugs that you can drink too. So I don't know. It could be both. And what was his sign again? Okay, so just basically he hates women because of whatever happened, and now he takes it. I think that's the vibe I get, girl. That's the vibe I get, is that he's bitter about the past. And I'm sure you've met women like that. I have. That are so bitter towards the men in their past that they get a kick out of not treating dudes fairly. I'm thinking of like a couple of people I know right now, a couple of women I know, and it's not fair, it's not right. And I've definitely met men like this too. Yeah, he's very guarded, like way too guarded. He's very while there is a lack of self-love, there is self-confidence, especially when it comes to material things. It does suck for him. It does. The guy needs to heal. The guy needs to move on. And he has not moved on from his past. The Chariot reverse. He's stuck. He is stuck. And when someone's stuck like that, and they're predicating their negative past experiences and placing those on people in their lives, potential new people in their lives, that's not helpful for anyone. And it's certainly not conducive to starting and developing a strong foundation for a soulful depth, deep relationship with depth, committed connection. And I don't know where you met him, but I don't feel like that was his intention. I don't think he had intentions of meeting a woman and starting something really solid and committed, because it's like the full reverse. Well, should I even reach out then? I was just thinking the same thing. Like, I never said that you guys were going to be back together romantically. I never got that. I should have specified. I didn't get that you guys would be back together romantically. Do I think that he wants to be friends with benefits? Yeah. That's more the idea that I get. Is I don't think he wants to hurt you, Mahogany. I don't think that's the case, but it's less that he wants. He's not self-aware enough to be like, well, I'm bitter about the women in my past, so I actively want to hurt them. It's more subconscious than that. It's more just neglect and kind of using women as objects, which is I don't. So I when we asked if his response would be positive or negative, well, the answer is positive in the sense that he's not going to chew you out, he's not going to be mean, he's not going to ignore you, and he's not going to reach out to you to intentionally hurt you. But if you are looking for anything with substance and depth with this guy, you'll never get it. You'll never get it because we never got together romantically. Okay. So he may just want to maintain a friendship with you, Mahogany. It could just be very platonic too, because I don't get the sense that he actively wants to hurt you. It's more just Spirit is saying we don't give our blessing here because the guy's too bitter about the past and he's not over his past. And they know what you want from him, which is something romantic, something with and not just lightweight romantic, but something with depth. And he just doesn't have that. He's not available for that, at least not right now. Things would work out friendship wise. I'm even seeing that here. Like if you wanted to be friends with him, that's cool, but you'd probably end up feeling like the Queen of Cups reversed because I don't think that's what you're looking for with him. And I think that's as far as Spirit wants you to be with him, is like, yeah, and I can see why. I can see why they want you to be friends, to try being friends with him, girl, because that would allow you to get to know who he is more, and you'd see all the red flags that you haven't seen, those gaps that were there that you've possibly filled in on your own. I know I've certainly done that with people they're saying that there's just so much to him that is not good for you, or really anyone. It's not good for anyone. It's not good for any woman. I wouldn't wish any woman to be with this guy, at least not right now. Friendship, you know, now I can kind of see why Spirit was like, it's okay to reach out if it won't be negative. You'll and because I was getting friendship energy. But if that would leave you, it could leave you feeling one of two ways, actually. Either like longing for more because he's not being completely forthright with who he is, or seeing that he's a completely different person than who you had thought initially, which is so weird that came up, because as I mentioned, the first reading I did tonight was very, very similar for another client. And also weird because I was listening to a podcast earlier today, like a dating romance type podcast, talking about how, watching out for, not in this case, I wouldn't say watching out for love bombing, but in general, how important it is to watch out for that. And just, how long it takes to get to really know someone, and how, it's you've got to keep in mind at the beginning where, and I think almost all of us do it, we're putting our best self, our best face forward, and we all have things that we're not super proud of, about ourselves, at least I do. And I think a lot of people, I try to be forthright about it, like, I've got anxiety disorder, this, that, and the other, but I definitely don't try to show it at first and do my best, to keep those things contained. I mean, good thing we have, seriously, Mahogany, it is such a good thing that we have guides, and it's such a good thing that you really honor what their message is, what they say. I definitely don't see him being a love bomber. I mean, he could barely keep it up long enough. Oh dear. Yeah. No, it feels, and that's why I said I don't feel like in this case watching out for love bombing is important with him, because I don't get that energy from him. I just get more deceptive energy. Like, there's a lot to him that you do not know, and Spirit does, and Spirit's like, not for our girl. No, she deserves so much better than that. Like, yeah, every woman deserves better than that. The way it's in general, the way he treats women, at least at this time, is just not good. If it does go into the romantic realm. Yes, there more than likely is a lot. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. There's a lot going on that we haven't seen, or that you haven't seen. Spirit's seen it, and again, it could very well be something that could be why they're like, yeah, reach out to him, you'll be friends, you'll see, why this isn't good. But I'm gonna go with maybe not, just don't reach out to him at all. If the intent is for romance, I wouldn't reach out to him, because you don't want a romantic connection with him. Would he be a good friend? Yeah, I think he knows how to be a good friend. Do I think he'll try to get in your pants? Likely, though. That's the thing. And it's like, okay, so is he really capable of being friends with women and not having that connection? And, if you don't want that, a platonic connection, I wouldn't go forward in that direction, yeah, I've done readings like this before where I've seen this, and it makes sense, if we only know someone for so long, we're only going to see so much, especially early on. And I'm not saying, I do take Cashapp. It's right here, Alina. I'm not saying that we all have to be perfect in order to date, but there's just a lot that is not appropriate behavior when it comes to his approach to dating. I mean, I don't know. I was physically interested, but it doesn't seem to be the best either. Yeah, it really doesn't. I mean, because that's what I was going to ask too, is like, are there, like, what is it that you like about him? Like, what could you name the things, the ways, the reasons why you like him? Like, is he hella funny? Is he charming, charismatic, hardworking? if you have a difficult time knowing any of those things, then, and I ask this, both men and women, if it doesn't, if it can't go beyond, oh, well, they're so hot, then it might not be, yeah, okay, there you go, just the physical, yeah. So, and the way I usually posit it is like this, normally monogamy. I usually go, okay, put him, let's pretend he's not hot. Let's make him not attractive. You're not attractive to him physically at all. Would you want to talk to him? Is he a great guy? You know, but he is hardworking, a little too hardworking. He can be charming, but it is deceptive. Yeah, you gotta, and that's the thing is you gotta watch out for the charming, charismatic ones. There's those people that are really, really charming and charismatic and can just really like chop it up with anyone and enchant a lot of people. And that can be, that can be something to be wary of. You know, I'm not saying that every person who is charismatic and charming is a bad person, not at all. But sometimes it can be a red flag there. And we just received a donation from Alita, or sorry, Alina. Alita's my coworker's name. Thank you so much, Alina. Yeah, I also hope he heals too. Like I honestly, I don't want to say I feel bad for the guy, but I low-key do. Um, Anyone who's got that much bitterness within them, um, it's just sad, Amira, Amira, okay, Amira, thank you so much. So Amira, this is really exciting. I love giving past life readings. They're always fascinating. Um, and so here's how it works. I do utilize tarot, but like for example, I can't past life read for myself. It's slightly different. Whereas I do tarot read for myself sometimes. I'll ask a question here or there. What I'm doing is I am asking your spirit guides to illustrate a past life of yours, of which we have many. You're very welcome, Mahogany, of which we have many past lives. And you can ask for just a random past life to be illustrated, or you can ask, like, can you please explain why I'm afraid of stairs, or why I'm afraid of heights, or why this happens in my life, or why I like this one thing, or why I identify with this one thing. Like I did a past life reading yesterday for a client, a good friend of mine, a fellow tarot reader, and he's very interested in Grecian culture and history, feels very connected, and so we wanted to know if he'd ever had a past life in Greece or related to Greece, some kind of past life that would shed light on his interest in Greece. And sure enough, I reflecting on it, I actually think he was Romney, but he lived in Greece, I believe, like right before World War II. Very interesting reading, but it was a very like he was a very like happy mother, like took like really loved his family, lived a long life, loved his family, and it's almost like he was homesick. Like his soul was homesick for that life, if that makes sense. So think of what you want to have illustrated when we're doing this now, and I can and I can give you a moment, love. That's okay, Amira. So I don't know if you just heard what I just asked, but think about the type of past life that you want Spirit to illustrate for you, okay? I don't know if you heard how I explained how this works. I do utilize tarot, but it's not like direct tarot reading. It's a different thing. You did? Okay, so yeah, think for a moment. Maybe you don't need a moment, but you can take a few moments to think about the type of life that you want to have illustrated for you. Okay. And especially depending on how old of a soul you are, you could have, we all have many past lives, but some of us have more than others. You may have a huge library of past lives to be illustrated. I'll take a past life spirit wants to show me. I don't know if you need my real name. My name is Amira Katerina, but people just call me Amira. Amira's just fine, girl. That's perfect. Thank you. And what is your sign? What's your astrological sign? And yeah, that's a great general prompt. Like what do you feel is the most necessary life that I could, really learn something from and discover things from. Cancer, okay. Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides, please illustrate a past life of Amira's that you feel is most relevant to her. Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides, please illustrate a past life of Amira's that you feel is the most relevant. Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides, please illustrate a past life of Amira's that you feel is the most relevant to her. Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides, please illustrate a past life of Amira's that you feel is the most relevant to her. Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides, please illustrate a past life of Amira's that you feel is the most relevant to her. Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides, please illustrate a past life of Amira's that you feel is most relevant to her. Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides, please illustrate a past life of Amira's that you feel is most relevant to her. Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides, please illustrate a past life of Amira's that you feel is most relevant to her. Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides, please illustrate a past life of Amira's that you feel is most relevant to her. Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides, please illustrate a past life of Amira's that you feel is most relevant or helpful. Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides, please illustrate a past life of Amira's that you feel is most relevant or helpful to her. Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides, please illustrate a past life of Amira's that you feel is most relevant and helpful to her. Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides, please illustrate a past life of Amira's that you feel would be the most helpful to her. Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides, please illustrate a past life of Amira's that you feel would be the most helpful. Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides, please illustrate a past life of Amira's that you feel would be the most helpful for her. Thank you. Nine of Pentacles reversed. Four of Cups. 10 of Cups reversed. 10 of Wands reversed. 2 of Wands. Ace of Swords reversed. Ace of Pentacles reversed. 10 of Pentacles. Oh dear. Wow. The Star. These are my these are my two favorite cards right next to each other. That's wild. Okay, in a deck of 78, Page of Pentacles reversed. Okay, all right. Okay. So in this past life, you were very, very wealthy. Very, very wealthy. But you weren't happy. You weren't happy. Let's start right here in the middle. This is quite fascinating. This 10 of Cups reverse with this 10 of Pentacles. Yeah, you had a big family, and they most definitely supported you. You did not have to work at all. This was you were a woman in this past life, because we have different we're different genders in different lives. You were a woman in this past life, and the vision that I'm getting looks like the early 1900s. I'm not an historian. I'm not a sociologist. I'm not an anthropologist. So I can't, I can't tell you specifically what I'm seeing, but it looks like America, looks like New England, turn of the century. You were incredibly wealthy, very, very wealthy. You were white. So I'm gonna just call it like I sees it. You were definitely very waspy. You came from a very, very esteemed family here with this Ten of Pentacles, but you weren't happy. There wasn't harmony, sadly, in the family. And you had a lot of dreams and desires that remained unfulfilled. And this is interesting because I've done many past life regression readings, and I've done past life regression through guided meditation as well. That's how I started. And this is, I don't want to say it's a tale as old as time, because it's not. It is very unique. Normally, I often see people living in poverty in a lot of past lives, because let's be honest, throughout history, the wealthy or the impoverished usually outnumber the wealthy. Okay, but I have done readings in the past where people were like, one in particular that I'm thinking of, where they were extremely wealthy. And I'm definitely seeing that here. Like I can't express that enough. Is you never had to worry about money, but it was almost as though you wanted to. You wanted to know what that felt like. You wanted to know what it felt like to work. And you were you were a writer, and you wanted people to hear your voice, and your voice was never heard. At first, I was like, damn, Ace of Swords reversed, Ace of Pentacles reversed. Was she mute? No, you weren't mute, but your voice was never heard. You wanted to be a writer. And you probably could have been published if you had been a man, or if you had written under a pseudonym, but had a family that supported your dream. Your family didn't support your dream. They saw you as a woman, and the way that they saw women was like they're there to look good and take care of the house and be pleasant and not talk back and not speak their voice, when that was all you wanted to do. All you wanted to do was speak your voice and use your pen and have people hear you. And you wrote a lot, but you never got anything published. When you would try, your family would sabotage you. Like I'm seeing you like trying to send things off to publishing companies, and then like infiltrating the mail or circumventing the mail. And you were not happy. You were not a happy person in this past life with the Four of Cups. You really felt like you were robbed of a lot of things. Okay, this resonates. Wait, I wanted to be a writer when growing up. I still do. I have an idea for a book right now. Shut up, girl. This is what I'm talking about. I love doing past life readings. This is so interesting. Yeah, that's all you wanted. Was to, and I don't know what writers you like. If you're much of a reader, I'm guessing if you're a writer, you're also a reader. But I'm thinking of like George Eliot. You know, she had to write under the name George Eliot, in order to be published, and that was in I want to say 1860s, 70s, 90s, 80s maybe, or sorry, 1880s, 1890s or so. I could be wrong the dates there, but she had to write under a male pseudonym. Mary Shelley, who wrote Frankenstein, did not, but her mom was also Mary Wollstonecraft, who was one of the leaders of the suffragette movement in England and the women's rights movement. So of course she encouraged her daughter to write. She had a very progressive family, whereas this family you were in was not progressive at all. They were very traditional, very old-fashioned. I even had a journal where I wrote stories in growing up. I am presently and always have been a bookworm too. Right on. Me too. Me too. I used to be more of a writer when I was younger myself. Still very much a reader. Went to school for English, literature, and my focus was on, I had two focuses, women's lit and Irish, specifically homosexual Irish literature. Very specific, I know. But I also went to a very progressive school. Um, but in studying women's writers back in the day, yeah, like to be taken seriously and not be, just be writing romance novels or whatever, that because that's what they felt women were only capable of writing, was like stories of romance. Or think of, like, Uncle Tom's Cabin, Harriet Beecher Stowe. Um, she was able to, I mean, that book was fundamental to emancipating the slaves. um, she did come from a place of privilege, but with that support, I'm getting chills. Yeah, with that like privilege that she used it for good, and she had the support even as a woman to evoke emotion. I don't know if you've ever read that book, but it really evokes a lot of emotions in people. I mean, I've read it maybe 2 or 3 times, and I always cry. Like, I'm thinking of certain parts where it's a very emotional book, and it really tugs at your heartstrings. And I'm not saying men are incapable of doing that as writers, but that sounds hella interesting. Yeah, absolutely, totally interesting. Um, yeah, you were sad and despondent about this, and because you never got your start, you felt like you never had a start in life. And I don't feel like I'm not seeing you having children in this life. That's the other thing, is you didn't want to be a mom. You didn't want to just be a wife. You were a wife. You did have a husband. I am seeing that you did have a husband, but I'm seeing a lot of miscarriages. This is so weird because I saw this in the past life reading I did last night. If I know anything about women's history and women's health, that checks out. We didn't have, and I'm not knocking midwives or natural births at all, but a lot of women either died in childbirth or weren't able to carry to term. And but I'm not seeing so much despondency about that. I'm not saying that you just didn't care at all, but it was more like you didn't want to have children in the first place. So when you did lose the children, it was like, okay, well, so be it. I didn't really want to raise them. It wasn't. I'm not saying that your partner abused you, but there just wasn't birth control then, um, reliable birth control, and yeah, you lost children. You never had them. Um, but you loved your husband. He was a good man to you. You did love your husband. And he did give you like hope and light in times of darkness, in times of feeling like, and he definitely supported you in your work. It was your family that didn't support you. You had brothers who were really opposed to you making a name for yourself and having your voice be heard. I just see you constantly mailing things out for publishing and constantly being sabotaged to the point where you just stopped doing it because it was just so predictable. But you lived a very easy life, I will say. You traveled a lot with this beautiful Two of Wands, Ten of Wands reversed, and the Star. You traveled the world. You saw a whole lot of the world. Um, and that was partly what made you so thirsty for more. Was you saw how women live differently in different cultures, and sometimes it was worse, sometimes it was more restrictive, sometimes it was less restrictive. And those observations here, the whole world in her hands. Look, she's got the world in her hands, and she's observing, not just her kingdom, but the rest of the world. It really left you at a loss with this Page of Pentacles reversed, feeling rather insecure, um, vulnerable, and capable, when the whole time you were an incredibly talented writer. Your husband knew it. And I think he tried convincing your family on more than one occasion that you were worth your salt and that your stuff was worth reading. But I feel like they had a fear of your success. I think they had a fear of your success, not your husband. Your hubby was always on your side, always in your corner. It was your immediate family, like your mother, your father, your siblings. Not to say that there was no love between you guys, but the love that you found with your husband was much stronger than the love that you had with your immediate family, because they just didn't believe in your hopes and your dreams. Whereas he did, and he did all that he could within the limitations of the time period and culture and what have you, and the place. But there was also, you guys were, a very wealthy, well-known family, and they also didn't want any like dissenting, because you had a lot of strong opinions too. You would write things with about politics and stuff, and you had a lot of strong opinions about things that they were like, no way, we can't have that broadcasted. We gotta keep it quiet. So you speak your voice, girl. We're in a time and a place where we've gone backwards in women. Hey, Freckles. Hey, Wendy. How you doing, girl? Thank you for your donation, love. We're in a time and a place where things aren't super great for women. Let's be honest. I don't know where you're from, but that's good. Where can I find him in this life? Yeah, hopefully he's reincarnated, as you have, and he's somewhere near you, and you guys can meet. Yeah, that's a good question. I hope he's in this life. We didn't ask that, but it's quite possible you will meet him in this life, and you'll feel that connection. You'll know it immediately. If you've had something with someone in a past life, you'll know that. You'll feel it. But even though it's some dark times for ladies these days, it's still so much better than it was like in 1890. Even if you were super duper wealthy and educated and well traveled and mentally and physically healthy, you were still held back depending on how your family was, And yeah, I'm a black woman now. Okay. And do you live in the U.S.? Yeah. And that's really what that Ten of Pentacles reverse. Sorry, Ten of Pentacles upright with the Ten of Cups reverse. It's like it doesn't matter how much money you got and how much influence you have and how much power you have. Sometimes there's still gatekeeping by others, And I'm really seeing like just negative male figures in that life. Not, aside from your husband, he was great. Your father wasn't great to you. Your brothers were not nice to you at all. They, like I said, they were the ones sabotaging your word. They did not. They really wanted to control that. So I say, keep on writing. Write for just self-expression. If you do want to get something published, still write for yourself. I always suggest that, not just with writing, but all types of art. Do it for you and how you feel the most authentic in your creative expression, because that's going to be the most powerful thing to emerge. When you're not like writing for an audience, a particular audience, and you're just doing it for yourself, that's when you're going to find some real magic. And I'm not saying you haven't found magic, but just as a writer, I find that holds me back. I try to write for an audience. I'm like, I've got to just write for all the best writers, my favorite writers, in my opinion, all my favorite writers. They really were renegades and did things on their own, and yeah, a lot of them were Aquariuses. Let's see, Charles Dickens, James Joyce, Toni Morrison. No, Maya was an Aries. Yeah, James Joyce, Virginia Woolf. I'm not tooting my own horn being an Aquarius, but very an Aquarius spirit in this past life too. You definitely had that. I know you're a Cancer, but I still trying to write my book now. I still haven't idea. Yeah, that's fantastic. It's a sci-fi fantasy fiction book. I really love the concept of my story too. That's what's up. Substack is a great platform to write and connect with people. Oh, wonderful, Wendy. I don't know if you've heard of that, Amira. I haven't heard of that. But yeah, if you love the concept of your story, that's what's up. That's precisely what I'm talking about. Is that's going to be the most authentic voice. And I think that, in my opinion, as a reader and as a writer, I think the most authentic and beautiful voices, or the most beautiful voices, the most powerful voices, are the most authentic. Thank you so much, Amira. I really appreciate you, girl, and I hope I brought you some insight there. I usually, say clarity, but I hope I brought you clarity as well. But definitely some insight into your soul's tapestry there, for sure. Yeah, I kind of want to check that out too. Yeah. Thank you again. Thank you again, sweetheart. Oh, I love doing past life readings. I for real, like, just really enjoy them a lot. It's always a delight. Um, Even with some sadder situations, um, they're always so illuminating. Miss Wendy, oh, you're so welcome. Oh, I love that. That's such a lovely compliment. Thank you. Inspiring. Oh, you're so welcome, love. Thank you. Thank you very much. Miss Wendy, all right. Yeah, you made a donation. Thank you so much. Please go ahead and post your question right there in the chat. Thank you. I'm curious, when people meet me, what's their first impression of me? That's a great question. It's a great question on one hand, Wendy. I always wonder, I've been, I ask people a lot of the time, and the most common answer I get is, I thought you were going to kick my ass. When I tried to talk to you, you look very intimidating. And I hate that. I've been told that by a lot of people. I'm like, no, I don't even try to do that. Yeah, I'm like, that's got to be some subconscious thing that I'm doing out of like social anxiety. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say this too. Being friends with a lot of lesbians in my life, the butchest lesbians that I've known are always the softest. I'm not saying I'm a butch lesbian, but like that, like, kind of like strong, like, maybe I am putting on a strong front out of fear or insecurity. I'm not saying butch lesbians are insecure, but I'm a softie and I'm very vulnerable. It is good. Yeah, it's good that I know. I do ask people. But the issue with with asking tarot is you meet so many people in your life. My lesbian friend is super tatted up and looks tough, but she's the biggest teddy bear. Serious. Yeah, I'm thinking of a friend I know. She legit, my friend is so, yeah, she's tatted up too. One of her tattoos is literally just the word, oh, how beautiful. Oh my God, you guys, look at this. Oh, yeah. This is so crazy. So, one of the ads that just popped up on my phone on this live stream was Elegant Judaica Jewelry. That's crazy cool. It's normally like weird Christian camps and stuff, but I guess they've heard me talking enough now to know that I'm Jewish. Very cool. I'm gonna have to check that out. Um, yeah, no, my friend, she legit has butch tattooed on her, and she's a total. That's the word I use for her. Is like total teddy bear. Like, yeah. Maybe we can rephrase it. What vibes do I give up? I don't. I think that's a good way of rephrasing it there. I think that's actually a really smart way of rephrasing it. Like, just what vibes do you typically give off? Because yeah, if we ask typically, then we're getting, what's the norm, whereas some people may have some differing impressions. Yeah. Okay. Just give me 1 sec. All right, Wendy Pooh. Let's do this. Angels, masters, and spirit guides. What vibes does Wendy typically give off when people first meet her? Angels, masters, and spirit guides. What vibes does Wendy give off typically when people first meet her? Angels, masters, and spirit guides. What vibes does Wendy give off when people meet her? Usually, Angels, masters, and spirit guides. What vibes does Wendy usually give to people when they first meet her? Angels, masters, and spirit guides. What vibes does Wendy give to people when they first meet her usually? Angel Masters and Spirit Guides, what vibes does Wendy usually give to people when they first meet her? Angel Masters and Spirit Guides, what vibes does Wendy give to people usually when they first meet her? Angel Masters and Spirit Guides, what vibes does Wendy give to people when she usually first meets people? Ancestors and Spirit Guides, what vibes does Wendy usually give to people when she first meets them? Ancestors and Spirit Guides, what vibes does Wendy give to people when she first meets them usually? Let's see here. Since I'm making an effort to meet new people, it'd be nice to know. Yeah, for sure, right? And I was thinking about, I think about this a lot too, girl. And I was thinking about it just like a couple in traffic, big surprise. Just thinking about it the other day, I was just like, when I do ask people, it's usually the same answer. Like, I thought you were gonna like bite my head off. I'm like, that explains why most people in my life are super, I don't want to say type A, but socially type A. Like, their friends and lovers are the type to like chase me down. It's hard for me to talk to strangers. That's something I'm really working on. Thanks, ChatGPT, my new therapist. 5 of Wands reversed. Page of Swords. 10 birds. 8 of Cups. 3 of Swords reversed. And Ace of Pentacles reversed. Interesting. Okay, you're a very peaceful person. You're not confrontational. What, like, pretty much the exact opposite of what I was just saying when I ask people the same question. Like, what was your first impression of me? Unless it's like an actual date and we meet online first, then I'm usually warmer. But for those who have met me organically, it's always the same answer. Like, you seem like you were gonna like just slug me or something. I was scared to talk to you, but I had to, like, you know, really be courageous to talk to you. Very complete opposite with you. I don't know. I wear Doc Martens. It's funny. I was watching it. Just one quick aside. I was watching a show earlier. These 2 gay guys and 2 lesbians were doing. It was called Radar, and they were guessing if people were gay or straight. And I mean, they should have called it Gaydar. Hello, but one of the girls walks up to the podium and they're like, "Oh, Doc Martens, hell of rings, she's gay." I'm like, "Excuse me, I'm not." Like, I'm just looking down at my footwear. I think it's the Doc Martens. I don't know. Or maybe I got, you know, RBF. But they are. It's very opposite. People see you as very warm, not confrontational. They're not going to be met with a slug in the face or a kick in the crotch with your Doc Martens that I don't think you have. That's very, yeah, they see you as not, I don't want to say like without any defenses, no, but easygoing. And thinking of the Taurus women that I know, and even the Taurus men that I know, you know, thinking about my brother, he's a Taurus. Y'all are largely not confrontational because you express yourselves if there is an issue. You're communicative. I always joke when I think about my brother that it's like that children's book Ferdinand the Bull. Like he's totally peaceful and totally chill and totally fine. But if you poke him enough and irritate him enough and like really try to piss him off, he will defend himself and the nostrils will flare and he will charge. It happens with both Tauruses and Capricorns. I've noticed they just blow up because you guys, Capricorns eat a lot of crap because they're goats. They'll take a lot of crap from people. And Tauruses just honestly don't want to be bothered, I feel. But if someone intentionally tries to bother you over and over, you will stand your ground. So people don't see you as weak. I'll stand by that. They don't see you as weak here. I'm easygoing because not a lot bothers me when I do. Exactly. I was just going to say that sounds just like Sam. That sounds like my brother. Like, not a lot phases him. Like,
we both have ADD, but I got the anxiety. He didn't get the anxiety. And he can talk to anyone too. He's one of those people. And people just randomly talk to him, always want to talk to him. He's very charismatic, chatty. I'm very socially anxious, but it's very much what you're describing there. Yeah, you're easygoing. You're easygoing because not a lot bothers you. You're chill. You legit are easygoing, but when something does, which is pretty rare, you're very, you have very specific reasons as to when something would piss you off or would be unfair. You will. It's not pretty. I have no doubt it's not pretty. Um, and I feel like that's pretty solid. That's really solid and fair. Like and I'm living with having my brother. Like it's like, yeah, just be cool. Like, yeah, yeah. And I know the things that get my brother heated and angry, especially like political conversations and stuff like that. And I avoid those. Like I know what to talk about with him, especially if we are drinking or something like that, and he gets a little loose. Um, you know, but he's also my sibling, so I know him very well. But I feel like I know Tauruses very well because I know my brother, and he's just such a Taurus. Um, it's easy to work with Tauruses as long as you know what they're, what bothers them. Absolutely. Oh my God. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's the whole reason why my brother lives in the Middle East. Is he's so passionate about politics over there, and he's very passionate. You get him going on a subject that basically the Middle East. He's a Middle Eastern studies professor, historian. Get him going on that, and it's just like, yeah. And I don't want to say that you're just like my brother, but maybe that's why I like you so much. Maybe that's why we get along so well. Is I do see a lot of that sweet Taurus energy within you. You cut through bullshit too. I think a lot of people see you and see how smart you are too, and know that at least in terms of like F boys and stuff like that, like they know that you're gonna cut through the bullshit. You're gonna cut through the nonsense. You're very logical and you see things for how they are. Hello, Jasmine. Hi. Thank you for your donation, sweetheart. I'll add you in just a second. Thank you. Received. Um, you cut through the bullshit. You keep your head above the clouds, and you look at every angle of the situation. Um, and so I feel like yeah, people don't feel like they can take advantage of you or want to take advantage of you for the most part. And let's just pray that that remains the way it is. I ask a lot of questions and I look at their manner. Yeah, you're very good at assessing things. Very good at assessing things in people and situations, and knowing when to walk away from someone who you first met, knowing when to stay with this Eight of Cups. Um, People sometimes see you as a wounded person, not currently wounded, but with this. And I know I've read for you so many times. I know I've pulled this card for you in the past, but you are healed. You're a healed. What is it? The Wounded Healer. Name of the book. But you're a healed person. You're a healed person. You've been through. You've definitely experienced your wounds. You don't wear them on your sleeve, but you are. People do see a toughness in you, when it comes to that. Like they can recognize that you're not prone to BS. You're just not prone to BS. You've experienced things and have healed from them and moved on. Um, But I don't like the only card I'm not liking here is this one, this Ace of Pentacles reversed. I think not a lot, but a healthy amount of the people who do meet you the first time. I'm gonna guess these are thirsty ass dudes. They wonder why you're not settled with someone. I get that. I get that all the time. I legit get that question from dudes all the time, asked in different forms. One guy asked me not too long ago, like a few days ago, are all the dudes in your neighborhood blind? Why are you single? I was asked by a photographer I was working with about a month ago, you're not married? and you're 39. What went wrong? He legit said, what went wrong? Like, the right guy hasn't approached me yet is what's wrong. Exactly, because we don't settle. I'm not going to settle for just some dollar menu guy, and neither are you. We know what value is, and because we know what our value is. You know, I say this quote a lot, but like Marilyn Monroe said, I'd rather be unhappy and alone than unhappy and with someone else, because I've experienced both, and I'll tell you what's worse: is being with someone else and being really dissatisfied with someone. It's going to make you want to retaliate against them. At least for me, it's going to make you feel bitter. At least when you're alone and not super satisfied, you can work through it. Exactly. If I'm flying myself all over the world and treat myself like a queen, why would I settle? Exactly. Precisely. It's like, I know how I treat myself. Exactly, girl. That's such a good way of putting it. Yeah. It's like, I know how I treat myself. I know legitimately, like I, went to the salon tonight. Like, I know how I treat myself. I went, and got my favorite foods and my favorite drinks. I treat myself to that because I know my value. And I know how hard I work, and I know, I just know what I'm worth. And if someone doesn't feel like I'm worth certain things, and I don't just mean material at all, it's not what I'm talking about, that, then I'll metaphorically swipe left, Right, Jasmine. Jazz. Jasmine, I'm sorry. Because I have so many clients named, I have like 4 or 5 regular clients named Jasmine. I'm wondering which one you are, because YouTube has started not changing people's usernames, but like the one that you type in or the one that shows is not the same. Are you a Jazz? Which Jazz are you? Are you my New York girl? Which Jasmine are you, honey? My friends also treat me with love, so I'm not going to settle for a... Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, girl. Absolutely. Your friends also don't treat you like that. Yeah. Oh, you're from... Oh, me too. Fellow Cali girl. All right. And thank you so much, Wendy. Thank you, love. And you are very welcome. And you're totally right. Yeah, your friends treat you right. The people in your life treat you right. And... yeah, that's, and it stays that way. Easy Jazz. All right, honey bun. Please go ahead. Jasmine, were you interested? Did you want 2 mini readings, or did you want a 10-card reading? Jazzy. Okay, I'll call whatever you want me to call you. I'll call you Jazzy. You got it. So Jazzy, you interested in? You want a 10-card? I'm not pick with what you want to call me. Oh, picky. I was like, wait, what? Okay. I'll call you Jazzy. I like that. That's cute. Okay. Because you got all 3. Jasmine, Jazzy, Jazz. No, you're all good. And what is your sign, love? Yeah, let me know what your sign is and your question on. Libra. Fantastic. That little air sign.
Okay, hun. I would like to know if Nick the Taurus, my future, sorry, if Nick the Taurus, my friend, will take action towards me to pursue a romantic relationship or not at all. Okay, okay. So he's a Taurus, you are a Libra. You got it, honey. Let's get into this. Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides. Will Nick take action towards Jazzy, to pursue romantic connection? Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides. Will Nick take action with Jazzy to pursue a romantic connection? Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides. Will Nick take action with Jazzy to pursue a romantic connection? Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides. Will Nick take action with Jazzy to pursue a romantic connection? Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides. Will Nick take action with Jazzy to pursue a romantic connection? Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides. Will Nick take action with Jazzy to pursue a romantic connection? Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides. Will Nick take action with Jazzy to pursue a romantic connection? Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides. Will Nick take action with Jazzy to pursue a romantic connection? Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides. Will Nick take action with Jazzy to pursue a romantic connection? Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides. Will Nick take action with Jazz to pursue a romantic connection? Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides. Will Nick take action with Jazz to pursue a romantic connection? Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides. Will Nick take action with Jazz to pursue a romantic connection? Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides. Will Nick take action with Jazz to pursue a romantic connection? Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides. Will Nick take action with Jazz to pursue a romantic connection? Angels, Masters, and Spirit Guides. Will Nick take action with Jazz to pursue a romantic connection? Okay. The Hanged Man. The Wheel of Fortune reversed. The Hermit reversed. The Hierophant reversed. The Emperor reversed. Ace of Pentacles reversed. Knight of Swords reversed. Justice reversed. Temperance. And Three of Wands reversed. Okay. I am a reader who reads reversals, as you clearly see here. And as I always say to people, just because it's a reversed card does not mean that it is a bad card. And I know I was expecting that comment thing, too many reverse. Yeah, I will say, just because it's a reverse card doesn't mean it's a bad card, but unfortunately, I don't know how well you know tarot, but these reversals are not good. There are certain reversals that are good, like Eight of Swords. I love Eight of Swords reversed, Seven of Swords reversed, Nine of Swords. Mostly the Swords cards, or the Fives reversed. Those are always great. These aren't looking too good. How long have you been friends with him for, with Nick? How long has this been going on? Because I don't see him starting, or I don't see him taking action here with this Ace of Pentacles reverse. This is creating a solid foundation for a connection, and I don't know how long you've been friends with him for, how long he's been kind of keeping you, I don't want to say on the side, but keeping you as a friend platonically, because that's how he sees you, is as a platonic friend. The Hangman is our perspective. Well, we reunited last year when my mom passed away. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, jeez, I'm so sorry for your loss, Jazz. I'm so sorry. Oh, dear. How often do you guys speak with one another? What's the rhythm of your communication? Is it childhood friend? We are just, hey, Austin, we are just friends, nothing more, never pursued anything romantic. Okay. And I feel like that's the case. I feel like that's the case here, is he doesn't want, whatever you guys have right now with this Hangman, whatever his perspective is on the connection right now, it's not going to change. You've known since you were 11 or 12. Okay, so a while. He checks up
on me. He messages if you okay, and he definitely I do see that he values you. I do see that he values you. But we asked if he was going to ever take action in a romantic direction, and here we legit have a real loud no card. The Wheel of Fortune reversed. It's not. It's legit not in the cards. It's not within your guys' future. That this is going to happen, but it's up to him. There's free will. As I always say when I'm reading tarot, I'm reading current energies. Life is, there's only so much that's set in stone in this life. Mostly things are up to free will. The problem is when I'm reading his energies, the free will that I'm seeing is that he doesn't want to move this in a different direction. Knight of Swords reversed, the Wheel of Fortune reversed. The capacity in which he knows you now is the capacity in which he wants to know you. And that's it, with the Hermit reversed and the Hierophant reversed. He just moved to, so we don't hang out like we were. Okay, well, crazy, last time I checked it was totally opposite. Yeah, and that can happen. That can absolutely happen. And I don't know how you feel about the connection, but and you can tell me. I'd love to hear. No, I don't remember. I actually don't remember because of not just because of the username thing, but I don't know how long ago it was. But that's also another thing about tarot is not only are things, largely not set in stone. Most things are due to free will. I'm reading current energies, but also energies are constantly in flux. So you guys have known one another for a very long time, and I'm asking, at this current time, it was about a month ago, okay. I asked at this current time, is he going to take action to make this a romantic connection? And it's possible that he felt that way a few months ago. It's definitely possible. Knowing myself and just knowing other individuals, I don't know if you've been there, but where you have, like, I can think of like someone who I had deep affections for, like maybe 6 months ago, that I just don't. It's just not as deep anymore. Doesn't mean that I don't value them, but the depth of our connection, or not the depth, but the context of our connection has changed a little bit because both mine and his energies have changed. They're constantly in flux. Especially if we don't have something nailed down with someone, it's likely that we can flutter away. And I don't, and I'm not saying that he's walking away from you or wants to walk away from you. That's not what I'm saying here at all. I just, the depth as to the depth of your connection is where it's going to stay, at least at this time. But as you mentioned, I read for him about a month ago and it was wildly different. So this could change, but keep in mind that, oh well, he probably didn't see me that way then. I can't confess. I would argue that he probably did see you that way. He probably did. But I think he's someone who's on defense with this Three of Wands reverse. I think he's someone who flits back in temperance. Okay, we're getting closer to my conclusion. He's temperance, Three of Wands reversed. He's just not sure. He's just not sure where he stands. So, he could very. I totally believe you when you tell me that it was totally opposite the last time I read for you. But things have changed. And I was just going to say the same. Girl, that's crazy. I was just going to say, do you really want a man with that where he's that temperamental? Literally, he's going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Like, yeah, I want her. Yeah, I don't. Or want her, romantically. Not like, I didn't mean it like in another way, but like, yeah, I want her romantically. Yeah, I want her platonically. Going back and forth, like. And I did a reading for another client earlier tonight that was very similar. It's like, I understand it just sucks, that it doesn't work out, it's not working out the way you had envisioned it to. But do you really want an emperor who's not going to be stably convinced about his feelings for you and can't just make a decision? Because the Emperor reversed and Three of Wands reversed, lack of decision, lack of making a decision. And I can't confess my feelings. Yeah, I don't need a man that way. Yeah, it just sucks because I can't be friends with someone I find attractive. I don't think any of us can, honey. That's so weird too, because I was just talking about that tonight with not just one but two of my clients. I did readings and I legit asked them, I'm like, hey, this person, would you be cool with being friends with them? What do you like about this person? Are they funny? Are they loving? Are they supportive? And all they could tell me was, I'll be honest, I don't know them very well, but they're really hot. They're really good looking. I'm like, okay, well, put this person in a suit, a bodysuit that you are not attracted to. Put Nick in, make him not attractive to you in your mind. Would you still want to keep him in your life? And I'm not saying that it's all about looks, but would you want to be friends with someone who you still find attractive? Would that be satisfying for you, or would you be longing for more? Are there other aspects about him that you find worthy of maintaining a friendship with, like a ride or die friendship? I don't believe in being friends with a guy unless he's gay or we're business partners and I have to work with him. I totally hear you there. Yeah, heterosocial friendships are difficult to maintain. The ones that I've had in my life, yeah, they were homosocial because, yeah, gay guys. I'm friends with hella gay guys. But the straight guys I've been friends with, either I'm attracted to them and they're not attracted to me, or it's the opposite. They're attracted to me and I'm not into them, and they'll settle for a friendship, and it's just not healthy. That creates limerence. Exactly. I can't, because if I stay his friend, I will always feel some type of way if I saw him with another girl. Exactly. That's another really good way of looking at it too. Thank you, girl. I really appreciate that. I'm gonna posit that with other clients of mine too. It's like, would you be cool with them? Would you be cool seeing them with someone of the opposite sex that wasn't you? I'm sure he's a good guy. I believe you, honey. But the fact that I'm attracted to him, I can't, because the friendship will never balance. Exactly. And I'm seeing this here at Justice Reverse. I don't think he wants to do you wrong. I don't think he wants to do you dirty, but it's just not balanced. You being a Libra, you're a Libra, right? Libra? Yeah, I think you told me you're a Libra. This is your card, Justice Reversed. It just wouldn't be balanced, and you need balance in your life as a Libra. As a human being, we need reciprocity. We need a return. And it's rare to find completely equal balance, affections between relationships. It can be hard to find, but when you do, that's a sign that it's really meant to happen. And if it's just not balanced, then someone's going to get hurt. Someone's likely to get hurt. And I feel like Spirit is with the Hermit reverse there. Yeah, it's kind of what I was just saying earlier, is really examine what you want from him and what you're willing to accept from him and what you wouldn't be willing to accept from him. If he rejected your romantic advances but still wanted to be your friend, would you be okay with that? And you already answered me. The answer was no. You just said it's a fact that you can't be attracted to him. I totally get that, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, he was genuinely being there for me during the passing of my mom. It sucks. I don't know if he thought I was lesbian, but I'm not. And I also have growing feelings for him. I don't think he thought you were a lesbian, hun. If anything, I think he has probably picked up on the fact that you might like him a bit. What makes you think that he thought that you were a lesbian? I was joking with my last client earlier, my girl, Wendy. I wear Doc Martens almost every day. I own many Doc Martens. I love them very, very much. And I was watching a show on YouTube. It was figuring out if people were gay or straight. And a girl came on the podium and they were like, oh, she's gay. She's got Doc Martens and she's wearing hell of rings. I'm like, okay, wait, huh? But I'm straight, you know? Like, but how do you think that he thought you were gay? What did you try to throw him off in some way, or do you feel like you maybe give that vibe, or is it honestly no man will be friends with a girl the way he was with me? You don't know that, girl. There's a whole lot of people out there. How was but explain how was he friends with you? No, I just feel like I give that vibe sometimes, and I've been told, yeah, me too, me too. I've been told that too, and I'm just like, really? Like, I'm just in touch with both my divine and masculine energies. I'm not ashamed to wear a pantsuit or, you know, still have a labubu on my purse, my Kate Spade purse. I'm still very feminine, but it can be, you know, there's a lot, you know, there's feminine lesbians, but I think that, yeah, I think you might just be overthinking things. You may have given off a little bit of a not, but I get the sense that he didn't feel that. I don't know. I get the sense that he did pick up on some kind of affection and fondness there. I know we didn't ask that question, but people can usually pick up on that, even if someone is maybe like strays from like stereotypical like gender presentative norms, which I know I do for sure. Um, I wear pants almost every day. I used to wear dresses all the time, but I wear lipstick every day. But there's such a thing as lipstick lesbians. I don't know. It's all very confusing. I'm sorry, Jazz. I'm sorry, love. I hate that I like him. Girl, I know that feeling all too well. I've echoed that sentiment. I hate that I like him. Breaking your own heart. I hear you. I hear you. It's like you intuitively know that it won't result in the way that you want it to result in. I understand. And it's hard. I wish I had a magic potion to just walk away, you know. You got the tarot. Though because, you know, I have found how to endure embarrassing myself. I wouldn't call it embarrassing yourself at all, love. I don't by liking someone, you're not embarrassing yourself. If they don't like you, it's their loss. It's their loss, honestly. And I know what you mean. You know, I claim to a lot of my friends that I was emotionally humiliated multiple, not just one time, but multiple times over the past couple of years. But when I really look at the situation, it was more, I just, it didn't, and this is just for me, but it just didn't, it didn't end up the way that I wanted it to, ideally. And that somehow created that type of embarrassment. Just sorry, give me one moment here. And with the reading energy with tarot, I probably would have gotten rejected. That's just a Libra. Yeah, you're looking at every aspect. I hear you, girl. I hear you. I'm Libra rising, and I definitely look at every aspect. Um, and yeah, you might have gotten rejected if you had expressed your feelings, but the way that I look at it is I think that he had an idea of your feelings. I could be wrong, but I think he did have an intuitive idea, and even if he didn't, if he's not chasing after you, he just wasn't meant to be, you know, both. But There's got to be that justice upright. Your card, that reciprocity, that balance of give and take. Yeah, I think so. Most people, even if they're not super intuitive, will pick up on those energies. Yeah. And I just think that I hate to. Oh, he called you bro? Oh, girl. When I'm with a dude and if I ever catch myself and I like him and I catch myself calling him bro or dude, I always go, oh, excuse me. I didn't mean to call you. I don't know why I called you bro or dude, because I always refer, yeah, that's what I do with guys that I'm friends with who I don't want to be with. I constantly bro them, dude them. So I hate to put it this way, but I feel like he already rejected you. You know what I mean? I think he picked up that you were interested and didn't reciprocate. And now, as hard as it is to say, because I know I've been where you are all too recently and know the feeling, it's just time to move on, move forward. If you're comfortable, like I said, if you're comfortable with being friends with him, he would reciprocate, but romantically, even, love and romance and the desire to make a romantic connection happen can make the most timid person, the most shy, insecure person move mountains. So if he's not moving mountains for you, I feel like he's not good enough for you. It's not what you deserve. Thank you so much, Jazz. Thank you so much, Jazzy. Thank you so much, Jasmine. I'll call you all three. Jazz, Jasmine, Jazzy, thank you so much, love. I really appreciate you, and I totally hear where you're coming from, and know where you're coming from for sure. Thank you. Okay, so we are all up to date with donations. So, donations. The donation queue is currently open. If you make a donation now, you will be read for next. Thank you very, very much. And we just received a donation from Miss Wendy. Wendy, thank you so much, honey. All right, whatever the question is about, as long as it's not illegal or medical, we all good. We all good. For sure, I'm gonna check that out for sure. Okay, so my manager has been out of office for 3 weeks. Okay, what's going on? And no one has heard from him. Whoa, what? Oh, okay, 3 weeks and no one. Okay, is this? Do you know how well do you know his personality? Is he coming back? What's his name? What's his name, babe? He gets overwhelmed easily and would lock himself in his office. Okay, so he's James. Okay. seems like he's kind of in over his head. I can't tell you how many cars I'm seeing with there's a bumper sticker now, what, anti-Elon Tesla club or something. I'm just like, I'm not even joking. And you know I drive a lot. It was like the car that was right in front of me before I turned left onto my street. Just like, oh my god. Angels, messengers, and spirit guides. And I'm sure people have them in LA too. Oh, it's not. You don't see them in your area? That's funny. I was wondering if it was exclusive to mine. Yeah, honestly, I see like at least 10 a day. At least 10 a day. Angels, messengers, and spirit guides. Is James coming back to the office? Angels, messengers, and spirit guides. Is James returning to Wendy's office? Angels, messengers, and spirit guides. Is James returning to Wendy's office? Angels, messengers, and spirit guides. Is James returning to Wendy's office? Is he really powerful? Angels, messengers, and spirit guides. Is James returning to Wendy's office? Because, I mean, he just leaves and doesn't say anything. Angels, messengers, and spirit guides. Is James returning to Wendy's office? Angels, messengers, and spirit guides. Is James returning to Wendy's office? Angels, messengers, and spirit guides. Is James returning to Wendy's office? Angels, messengers, and spirit guides. Is James returning to Wendy's office? Angels, messengers, and spirit guides. Is James returning to Wendy's office? He's the director of our department, and I report directly to him, so this is making me nervous. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's see. 10 of Cups reversed. 9 of Wands reversed. 7 of Cups reversed. The High Priestess. And 10 of Pentacles. I don't think so. I think he's on to bigger and better things. He was not happy. He was not. This is so weird. This is the second time tonight I've seen both the 10 of Cups reversed, but the 10 of Pentacles upright. He was not happy. He was really, really disharmonious working at your work. It did not align with his values. That was a big part of it. He knew it's a toxic workplace. It's a competitive workplace. And there's also the whole values thing that has to do with your workplace. Doesn't align with his values. He struck out on his own to be more true to himself and his beliefs and his values with the High Priestess. He would defend this job, his position, to friends of his, family members of his, even though they saw that he was likely self-destructive working there. They saw him not doing well. He hinted at how he didn't like what's happening in the country. He's British. Yeah. Is he cute? Is he single? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I gotta find myself a British guy, girl. What the hell? He felt that, a lot of people would say, just keep on working at it, just keep on keeping on. And at this point, he was just like, no. Like, I'm not always married. Okay, of course he is. Of course. He sounds like a catch. He's living his true life. He's living his best life. And he's made enough money to do so. I don't know what he did prior to working for your company, but he has definitely put aside a lot of money, has invested a lot, and realized that he really doesn't need to depend on Bibit to work. Doesn't need it. I want to give your company a name. Rainbow Connections is what we'll call your company. The Rainbow Connection. He's not, because it's the complete opposite, but he's not down with the Rainbow Connection. He's really not. And he's just like, no, I need to stay true to myself. Well, that's why that's the irony. There ain't no connection. He's not. Yeah, no, he's not in like Kermit's like little hidey hole. He's or little bungalow, whatever. It's an adorable song. I like to watch that when I'm really sad on YouTube. Watch Kermit sing Rainbow Connection. Anyway, in his little pond. Anyway, yeah, he realized that what he thought he was dreaming of, a life in America, a life working for a very esteemed, well-known company that's very successful, incredibly successful. Let's not deny that. As much as we, want to hate on the ethics of everything, it's very successful, very very successful. It's to quote Forrest Gump, his household name. At this point, it's a household name, and he thought initially that it was what he wanted and it aligned with his values, that it was one of his dreams and wishes with the Seven of Cups reversed. But upon actually experiencing it and working there, he's just like, nah. And I don't know what you said he's the leader of your department. I don't know what he did. You don't have to tell me because that might reveal too much. But depending on what he's doing, he can do it elsewhere. There's other companies he can work for and make just as good of money. And he's found that. And I get the sense that he's on the road. I get the sense that he's like legit like bounced. He's not coming back, and he's on the road, maybe in like Joshua Tree or something, or somewhere with his wife. And they were just, both of them were just like, this is like taking a toll on you and your mental and physical health. We need to get away. We can take care of ourselves. She does well for herself, or did do well for herself, if not currently. They're okay. They've got it. They don't have to worry about money. I wonder if he went back to the UK. I don't think I'm not getting that sense. I'm actually getting the sense that he's gonna go back to the UK. That's what I get. I don't know if his wife's British as well, but I get the sense that they do want to go back to the UK. But before they leave, they're exploring deep Southern California and southern the Southwest. Not just because I keep on thinking Joshua Tree, and the Mojave and Death Valley, but I also feel like he's gonna go to like Sedona and Arizona, maybe Albuquerque or Santa Fe in New Mexico, just exploring the really beautiful, great American Southwest. We don't have a whole lot of vestiges of pride left in this country. Sorry, but that's just where I stand. But I still have a lot of pride in the beauty of my country. I can at least say that. His wife is American and they have a kid here. Okay. I still think they're on the road. I think they are exploring the beauty, the last vestiges of beauty of America before they go back home. But they do plan on going back home. He's made quite a bit of money, and he has the potential to make quite a bit more money in other opportunities. And he realized, I can strike out on my own, the High Priestess. I can strike out on my own because my values are not aligned with my job. I know. I was going to say, like, that's great for him. Excuse me. I was going to say, how wonderful for him. I really, like, I applaud him. That's wonderful. That's beautiful. Sorry, I have the hiccups. That's really wonderful for him, but he left you guys in the lurch. He could have planned this better, but if he had planned this better, he likely would have gotten a lot more crap just because of the toxicity that you did mention within your workplace. I'm sorry, honey. I'm so sorry. That sucks, ball. That sucks bad. That sucks. I'm so sorry. Because yeah, he's off living his best life. I'll tell you, he's not like dug up in a desert somewhere. That's what I was concerned about. Like, what he went to like Vegas and like, I don't know, like gambled too much and now he's like 6 feet under in like the middle of the desert. What's going on here? No, he's doing great. He's with his family. They're happy, but at who else's expense? Yeah, yeah. We'll see. We'll see. We will see. Of course, I was gonna say let me know, but I assume you will let me know. I'd really appreciate that. You don't have to do anything, but yeah, no, I would like to know what actually happens with him. Yeah. Thank you so much, Wendy. Thank you, love. I appreciate you very much. And yeah, it's not nice to leave people in the lurch like that. To leave them hanging. You're welcome, sweetheart. You are very, very welcome. Much love and light to you. All right. So we're going to do a last call tonight. Last call for all donations. I have been live for just a little over 2 hours now, which means it's that time of night. If you have a question that you need me to answer for you, please send in your donation now. I'm still totally full of steam and beans. I can read for you. It's fine. And if you catch this message too late, still send your donation in. I can read for you offline. Well, it's online, but not on this live stream, over Instagram or typed over email. So yeah, let me know if you have a question that needs to be answered. Last call tonight. Last call for any and all donations. Thank you so very much. I went on rather late tonight. I had an appointment, like I said, at my salon, and I had work with my other job, so I wasn't able to go on until a little bit later. And it's so interesting. It seems just as busy, if not busier, when I go on a little bit later. So maybe most of my clients are from the West Coast. I'm not quite sure, but last call tonight. Last call, everybody, for any and all donations. If you have a question that you want Miss Sophie to answer for you and nobody else, now is the time to send it in. I can say with confidence I will not be on tomorrow. I have my other job tomorrow till about 3 p.m. and then I'm heading over to my parents' house for Thanksgiving. I'm very, very excited. I will be bringing my laptop and my cards with me to my parents' house. Don't worry, I will be there. So I will probably be going on. I will probably actually go on Thanksgiving evening. After, if I don't totally fall asleep after the turkey, which I don't eat. So yeah, if I don't eat too much food, I will likely be on Thursday on Thanksgiving evening. If I'm not on Thursday, I will definitely be on Friday. But tomorrow I will not be on. That's actually for sure. There's no way I can go on tomorrow because I'm realizing I'm working my other job till 3, and then I need to drive over to my folks' house on the other side of the Bay Area. So I'm taking a break this week. I think a lot of people need to take a break this week. Honestly, I've been working my balls. I've been working my butt off at both my jobs, and yeah, so I won't be on. I think a lot of people will be taking rest, as you should too, Austin. Enjoy your time with your family and your friends this Thanksgiving. And yeah, no need to be on. But I'm sure there will be people definitely wanting reading, so it's always good to keep in mind too. But yeah, no, tomorrow I definitely won't be on. Thursday I will do my best. I likely will be on Thursday evening. Let's keep it real. Friday for sure. Thursday's a maybe. Wednesday. Tomorrow's not happening. Not happening. All right, it looks like everyone is happy and taken care of. Thank you all so much, and I will see y'all again either Thanksgiving evening, like I just said, or Friday. Thank you all so much.